Mr. Transformers 96 here with another review. This time we have the Star Wars The Black Series from the Force Awakens First Order Stormtrooper. So yeah. So overall I was very excited to get these. I did of course get two. Wanted to get three. I would have rather had a third one of these Stormtroopers rather than Chewbacca. Unfortunately though, I did buy these on Amazon on the night of Force Friday or the Thursday. And they had a limit where you can only buy two of each character, so unfortunately I couldn't get three, but I did get two. I mean, you just got to get two of these guys. They look quite wonderful. So overall, this was a figure that was released previously as a Comic-Con exclusive with might have been another accessory, or just these accessories, I think, actually. But overall, I didn't get that. I did try to get it on Hasbro.com, but I wasn't able to get it, so I am very happy to actually get them now, and they're looking great, I have to say. So overall, just really going to be focusing on one of these because, you know, they're obviously the same here. They look great. Just the design of the armor is wonderful. You've got a nice white glossy look of the armor, which is great. And then the pouches, like on the belt, are done in a slightly more cream white rather than this shiny pure white, which I think is nice. You know, it separates them a bit and makes it look nicer just to have it so that they're not all the same color. You do have black details throughout, very small details, but do look nice. And then of course just a regular black. The paint is done fine, but there's really not much to do here because you don't really have to do any shading or anything like that. You just have to do a pure white that's glossy and then a black that's plain black, and you know, nothing too special. So overall they did the paint really well, but there's nothing really spectacular to do with the paint. Overall looking quite nice there. The articulation is quite good on this guy as well. I will go into that. I do love the new style helmets for the Stormtroopers. I think that it looks fantastic. It's a nice modernization of the old style, which is just perfect in my opinion. The guns are really nicely sculpted and painted, as you can see. Lots of good detail there. Has some silver on the scope, and then as well as a little bit right here. Right, just that line right there, silver, which looks good, and then black and white mixed throughout, of course, like you'd expect. Overall, they did a wonderful job sculpting that weapon, as well as you do get a pistol with them, right here. As you can see, looking quite nice, very small. You can use it. They do look nice holding it. It's just when I think of a Stormtrooper, I never think of them using a pistol. Possibly in this new movie they will, but until I see it happen, and you know, just it feels very strange. So I don't want to actually have them hold it. But he does have a little clip on the side of his leg and a little peg on the gun. So you can just clip that gun right into the side of his leg. It stays completely flush, and it's a nice, good, strong peg in there. So without roughhousing too much with this guy, it won't fall out, which is just fantastic. So overall, I'm very happy with that. Wonderful way of plugging that in, I have to say. It just looks fantastic. Going over the articulation, it's pretty good. You've got a ball hinge shoulder or neck. Unfortunately, I wish that he could look up further. I mean, that's a pretty decent amount, but I wish that it could go a little bit further. It feels like it's just the joint doesn't go any further because there's room. Like, it should be able to push this back more and then go up even further. But unfortunately, it just looks like the hinge isn't sculpted that far on the other side, but wish it was. He can look down a bit. As you can see, that's about as far down as you can go. And then he's got a ball hinge shoulder, not hindered by the shoulder pads whatsoever, which is nice. Hinge, swivel, elbows. Unfortunately, the hinge only pivots that much, you know. Oh, well, it did fail out, but it's a pretty strong peg, I have to say. But the hinge only hinges this much. It isn't a full 90 degrees even, which is a shame. And then he's got hinge pivoting, hinge swivel wrists, which is nice, and they do hinge in and out, just like this. Then he's got a ball joint upper torso, which is wonderful. Really great range, up, forward, and back, as well as pivoting to the sides and then swiveling to the sides. So very nicely done. He's got a ball jointed thighs, which can hinge up this far. They just can't hinge up this far and be out due to the packs right here. Same thing on this side. You know, you can hinge them up, but you just can't hinge them and spread them the other side, which is unfortunate, but really doesn't bother me too much. Oops, sorry, Ray just fell. With the poses that you would want to do with a Stormtrooper, that doesn't matter in the slightest. So I do like the thigh joints. Then it's got a swivel at the thigh, double hinge knees, and then hinge pivoting ankles. The pivot can work pretty well even with these little guards here on the side of the ankles. So overall, articulation is pretty great on this, except for the elbow. The elbow, like on all Black Series figures, should be double hinge. Unfortunately, they go with this dumb hinge swivel, which can be achieved by merely basically doing a swivel at the bicep and then doing a double hinge at the elbow. Especially with the armor here, you could really hide the swivel at the bicep too, so there should be no reason for them not to do that, other than just trying to keep costs down. But it is unfortunate, and especially with Stormtroopers that should be holding their weapon with two hands, it definitely hinders what you can do with that, because you can still get them to hold the weapon with two hands, just you've got to have them hold it lower. They can't be holding it up very far, as well as if you want them to take aim like they're shooting with two hands, you can't. I mean, like, you can do this, which just looks ridiculous. He's holding it so far out. You know, from this angle it doesn't look too bad, but from this angle where you know, probably want to take the picture from, it would be just completely off. So definitely a shame that there isn't a double hinge at the elbow. But, you know, the hinge is good enough, and where you can get him to hold it with two hands in a more stationary position at least. So overall, this is a great figure, I have to say. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's very clean and pristine, which, you know, these first order Stormtroopers should be. And just looks quite wonderful. Accessories are pretty good. You know, nothing like too amazing here, but certainly nothing I could have wanted. Without seeing the movie, there's nothing that I can think of that I'd like these guys to come with. Hopefully by the end of the Black Series for The Force Awakens, we'll have a nice little army of these Stormtroopers. They are doing a Resistant Trooper, which should be the exact same figure, except with different accessories, coming with a shield and a riot baton. So overall, that will be really nice to add to a Stormtrooper little army building armor there, as well as, you know, we'll get a snow trooper, hopefully a flame trooper in the future. But overall, these are great first editions of this Stormtrooper, and hope to continue building them. So yeah, there you go. If you want to get a little comparison here. Here they are standing behind, you know, Sith, or not a Sith, but Kylo Ren here. So overall looking quite great. Although I have to say, I think that they're going to look a lot better standing behind Captain Phasma. Very excited to get her to pose with these guys. I think that she'll look great as like their commanding officer. So there you go. That's my review of the Star Wars The Black Series from The Force Awakens Stormtroopers. Thanks so much for watching.